So the first thing you're going to want to do is to find the GarageBand icon, which for most of you will be in your dock. If it's not in your dock, make sure that you go to the Finder instead, click open the Finder, and one of the easiest ways to find it is to go ahead and search in this little field right here. Search for GarageBand. You can even put just Garage and it should show up for you. Exactly, it showed up right here. So you double click on GarageBand and that's going to open GarageBand. Now, if for some reason it opens a project that has already been started, somebody else is from a different class, please do nothing with it. Okay? Instead, just go up to File and click New. Once you click File New, it's going to open a new window. And the next place you want to go is to create a new podcast episode. Okay, that's this right here. Click that once. That's going to open a new window where it's going to ask you to save your project as a specific title. Now, this is important that you remember your title because you're going to have to open it and find it later. So I'm going to call this one Sample 2 Podcast, just for the example. Now, make sure that you recognize where you're saving it. Okay, because if you save it in desktop on your laptop here at school, it's going to be gone tomorrow. We have a program that wipes off anything on the desktop from the day before. So make sure you do not save it on the desktop. Okay, where you want to save it is in one of these. Okay, it's going to be on your computer, it's going to be called Student. So make sure you save your project in Student on your computer. My computer doesn't have it because it's not a school-based computer. So I'm just going to save on desktop for now, although you will not be doing that in class, okay? So I'm going to then click Create. That's going to create a new podcast GarageBand file for you. And as you'll notice, there are 4 different tracks that automatically come up in GarageBand. The first one's a podcast track. The next one's a male voice track. The third one's a female voice track. And the last one's a jingles. Okay, so first things first, we're going to show you how to record your voice first off. So the first thing we're going to do is introduce what this line is. This line just is telling you where you're starting in your podcast. So I like to kind of bring it out if I'm going to start recording around 5 seconds just to give me kind of some room to work with. Okay, and so here are some of the main buttons. The main button here is the record button. This is a back button. This is a rewind button. This is a play button for replaying what you've already recorded, fast forward, and refresh. Okay, so those are the buttons. And obviously, to record, you just press the record button right here. It's going to start recording now. As an example, it did not start recording, did it? Nothing happened when I was talking. So there's a button that's very important in GarageBand. Okay, that's this one right there. If this lock button is clicked and lit up, that means that that track that you're on right there is locked and you can't do anything with it. So make sure that that is deselected, okay? And then you can use that track. Press the play button again, and it's recording. And you can see down below the fluctuations in my voice. And then I'm just going to stop it. And you could stop it by hitting the record button again or pressing the space bar on the keyboard. Now, if you like to go back and kind of preview what it sounded like, you bring this line back, press the space bar or play again, and it's recording. And you can see down below the fluctuations in my voice. And then, okay, so not bad. Now, one thing to note here is that the volume should be close to 3/4 of the way up this particular line right here. Okay, so if it's not for some reason, you can always change the preferences. And you change the preferences on your computer by going up to the Apple button, then going to System Preferences, then going to the Sound, and then yours is going to be a built-in microphone, and so it's going to already be selected, and you bring the sound up or down by bringing it, this is going to be down, right? It's hard to hear me, or all the way back up. Right? So make sure that's turned up loud enough to where you can actually hear yourself on GarageBand. Okay? Then just click the X in the left-hand corner to get rid of it. Now you're back to GarageBand. Okay. So let's say I'm happy with this audio right here, and now I want to see about putting in some introductory music. So I go ahead and click the jingles track. Then I'm going to actually select the button that shows me the different special effects, which is this I button right here. I click on that. Now this opens a lot of different special effects. There's tons in here. Feel free to look around. I'm going to go into jingles, which is right here, and cinematic, and I'm going to use the broadcast news long just as an example. And to insert it, hold down the mouse and just drag and drop it wherever you want it. In this case, I'm putting it in jingles. It automatically inserts it right into your podcast. Now, as you can see, it's pretty long. Okay, it goes on for, let's say, about close to 40 seconds. And I don't want it to go for 40 seconds, so I'm going to go ahead and edit it. So if you would like to edit either your voice or a specific sound effect, you can do that by double-clicking on whatever special effect or recorded voice that you have. Double-click on it. It's going to show the fluctuations in the voice and in the sound effect down here. And you can edit it any way you want. You can take anything out that you want. So I want this just to end right before I start talking. So I can use this kind of red line to show me where that is. So I'm just going to make sure my mouse is down here. I click where I want to start deleting. I hold, and it's going to highlight everything I don't want. So I'm going all the way over to the right. I'm going to select everything. Let go of the mouse. Click one more time inside of your highlighted region. Then click the delete button. That just deleted everything that I had just highlighted. Okay? So now it's going to sound something like this so far. And it's recording. Okay, so there is kind of a little bit of a really quick segue from my music to my actual track. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to kind of change that. Okay, there's a button here that allows you to open the level of your music or the level of your voice. You can level the music out by having the sound go down right before you start talking. You do that by selecting a point on this blue line, okay, as a starting point, and an end point, I want to say, let's say right here, and I want to bring the music down, so I'm going to drag it down, okay? And so this allows me to have the music slowly fade out, okay? So let's see the difference here. And it's recorded. So you can see the music slowly faded out until I started to talk. And so that's a great way to kind of really just start your presentation if you would like to. Okay, and the same is true for your voice. Let's say you want your voice to fade in and out. The same thing is true. You click that button right there. It opens that volume control for your voice, and you can make it go up and down however many times you want to. If you want to spike, you can do that, right, by just bringing it down. So whatever you want to do is fine, and it'll work out for you. So that's how to increase and decrease the sound of your voice as well as sound effects. The last thing I'm going to show you real quick is that if you did want to mask your voice or to change your voice, a lot of you are interested in that. So I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. You do that by, first of all, selecting the track that you would like to change. Okay, so I want to change my voice here. So I just selected that. Now you go to the I button right here. Okay, you click on that. That's going to open a separate window for voice effects. Okay, and most of the voice effects are on this left-hand side in podcasting and vocals. Okay, and probably the most popular one that I've seen used is helium breath. Not only because it sounds funny, but it also allows you to be heard okay. A lot of these distort your voice too much where you can't even hear what they're saying. And remember, hearing your voice during this podcast is important, and your grade will depend on how well we can hear you. So make sure you pick one that is easily heard. So I'm going to go and choose that. And as soon as you choose that vocal track, as you notice, it just changed my male voice to the helium breath up here. Okay, so now instead of it being my voice, it's going to be that helium breath voice. So I'm going to start it over, and we're going to check out the difference.
and it's recording. And you can see down below the fluctuations in my voice, and then...
Okay, so it's a different sound, right? So it just changed your voice, and all you have to do is go down to this I button again, right here, and then choose one either in podcasting or vocals that you think is appropriate. Okay? So make sure throughout this whole entire process that you're saving, right? Make sure you go up to File and Save, and that should save in the same spot. And that is just a brief introduction to GarageBand and how to use it. So if you have any questions, please